Hey guys, Tank here. Actually streaming, and I guess I'll have to double check and make sure that my audio is actually working. So just bear with me a second. It's not too often that I do that. Yes, my audio is working. Great. So Traxxas has came out with a new truck today, the Max. So it's a downscale version of the X Max. They've taken a lot of cool feature I find from the frame and how robust it is, how strong it is, with the way the shocks are tied to the tower, and they've made a whole bunch of different stuff on it. It's really cool. Let's go have a look at it. So you see its big brother behind, and you have the Max that's behind it. So it's a nice little truck. It's got a lot of potential. I've been hearing mixed feeling on the web about it, especially on, oh, as if they needed another monster truck. But hey, that's what sells the most, so that's what they sell now. They're trying to make money. They're trying to survive just like everybody else. But the front end looks very beefy, very strong. They do talk about the X Max, that it changed the face of the. I'll put this link into the description below once this video is over. And that's basically their landing page, they call it. And that's the new Max. So it's very nice, very robust. They got very nice big shock. We'll go over those in a little bit. Uh, and sorry, I am not looking at the chat right now, so I can't respond to any of the chat. So they do have a size comparison between the X Max and the Max. Very cool. Out of the box, 60 miles an hour with 4S. Very cool. And they do talk about how tough it is, and especially the way the A-arms are made. And also the driveline, it looks pretty good. Mind you, I would have rather seen some metal dry shaft instead of those plastic dry shaft. But looks like they did change them a little bit. They are not the same as the Revo. They do have to. They looks like the clip goes all the way through anymore. It's not like the slide-in one, and there's a little C clip. Hopefully, we'll see that in a little bit. They do have a nice little video. I did turn off the video, the audio, and because I'm talking about it, I can show it for a little bit because we are talking about it. It is released on their YouTube page, so if you guys want to go have a look at it, go right ahead. It's a pretty well made video. It's bashing and having fun. So what I want to show is basically the interior of it. So you do have the shock tower and the brace that goes in between. I love this because it makes it way stronger. It also has the brace that goes in the center of it to help make it more rigid. It is the same servo as the X-Max that it comes with. It does have the VXL 4S, so it runs on 4S. The can is a long can. This is really interesting what they've done. They've actually sandwiched the motor together to make it more for torque twist. And when you actually give torque to the motor, it's more stable. So that's really cool. It does have the same clutch as the Revo. Well, actually, it's not a clutch anymore. They call it a shock absorbing crush drive. So there is no clutch. This is what they call it. It uses a special elastomer, elastomer damper to absorb driveline. That's a friggin', I don't know if they invented that word or whatnot, but it's very interesting. This is the shock I was talking about, and I can't make it this bigger, but you can see here it does have a C-clip. So these dry shaft are a little bit different than the Revo and the new version 2.0 that came out, and the Rustler. People were having problems with the dry shaft. Mind you, this one might be a little bit bigger, but I think they should have went like the the Revo, and because this is the page for the Revo, they should have went with metal. Like, to me, it's a no-brainer. You're going to have that much torque. You're going to have that much fun with it. Why not put this? Maybe they're going to have an upgrade on it. I don't know, but Me, I would have put a better driveline into there. Um, they do have steel gears, which is awesome. Again, they have the torque bias center drive line, so which is a nice center drive line to help distribute uh, the power from front to rear. They do have a lot of nice action shots in here, and they do talk about there's different colors. There's two colors here. There's an orange one, and I'm sure they're going to have um, a green one. They have to have a green one. And here they say out of the box here, 55 miles an hour. One of their fastest truck on 4S. 3S is the ESC that can go. So yes, you cannot run a 2S on here. You need either a 3S or a 4S. But I'm sure a lot of people are going to buy this and put their own power system into it. So this is very interesting, especially on the length of the truck. It's a very nice wide truck, which is going to make it very stable. So it's a little over 14 inches, 14.5 inches long, and 12 inches wheelbase, so 21 inches total. That's from bumper to the wheelie bar at the back. The first one they're going to release actually is going to have the light bar in front, so that's going to be kind of interesting. They are going to send one with a light bar that's going to be in the front, and this is basically the one. So the first batch that they're going to supply are going to have it, and after that you're going to have to actually buy it. They do talk about the light bar in the front. I don't know if they're going to talk about the light bar in the back, if it comes with it. I don't know yet. We'll have to find out more info on that. But for the chassis, when you look at this knuckle looks beefy. I like this. I like the fact that the shock is nice and big, and they have nice and beefy knuckles on here, especially the front. When you look at the front, the way it's actually on the front A-arm on the lower one, and you look at that, so to me that's good, because these are big tires. They are 17 millimeter, uh, and they should, you need something big to withstand all this torque that the tires are going to bring. This is another thing I find interesting, is that they've evolved a little bit on the X Max, and especially this one's going to be lighter and a little bit better. They did change the way it actually mounts on the front, so it looks more like a little washer thing. I know some people were having issues that the cage was actually going through the frame. So that was a big issue with some people. But then you also have the back here to reinforce it, which is kind of cool. So it does have the slip-on no body post. Here's the back, what they put a little piece to help protect the Lexan body. Again, it looks nice and beefy. Now keep in mind this is a 1/10. It's not as big as the X-Max, but having it built that way should be nice and beefy. I don't know how thick the plastic is, but it looks pretty rugged. I like it. It does have a spot for a 4S battery. For people that do exchange this battery, this ESC and so on, to run 6S in the near future, you'll have to figure out something else to run a 6S, or maybe less milliamp on your 6S. But I like the chassis. I like what they've done, and it has a lot of potential. A-arm could have, might have been a little bit more beefier. I don't know. Like when I look at a picture over here, it doesn't look as beefy as when you look at it from the front. So it looks thick, but view from here, it does look a little thin. Again, they're well-known three-part chassis. So when you're working on it, you can actually tear it apart in 3 different pieces, which that's kind of cool. And then that's the chassis with nothing on. Here's the ESC. You do have a temperature, voltage, and the A, I'm not sure what that's going to be. I have not played with that one. This is their VXL. It is a 4-pole 2400 brushless motor. It is not censored. And this is the cradle that I mentioned that they have. So it secures the motor. So this whole thing helps secure the motor from the back all the way to the front. So when you're actually giving it torque, it's going to help the whole the whole mounting system is it's going to help it. So it's going to help your spur gear in your pinion. And you can see here they have a little pin that actually matches onto here. So that's kind of cool what they've come up with. And again, they have the 2090 servo. Hate it, love it. Some people like it, some people hate it. Some people say they burned it in the first a couple days, couple of hours. Some other people tell me, hey, they never had any problem with it. So it's a love-hate situation. Here's the waterproof housing for the electronics, which is kind of cool because all your wires come from the top here and then gets down here. They do have the seal, so it's nice and waterproof. I've always liked Traxxas waterproof system that they had. And here you have a picture of the drivetrain again. And here's the, not the slipper clutch, but the clutch. And more of the drive line. They do have a aluminum spline centered drive shaft, which is this one. They're saying it's a little bit better than the old one they used to have. I know I bent a few of them in the past. And here you can really see the drive shaft and how they've actually put a C-clip on it. So just make sure you put your C-clip on it properly. And then we have the shock absorbing crush drive. And I like the fact that they went with metal gears here. So from your pinion to here should be metal. So that's going to be nice. I don't know if they supply you the gears to make it to go to up to 65. So I don't know, or 60, I believe it is. Gear and the diffs, they're all metal. So which is a nice thing. And here's the A-arm. The A-arm looks nice and beefy from the side, but when you look at it from the other side, I don't know, it looked thin, but it should be pretty resistant. I know Traxxas have been doing a lot of leaps and bounds with their material and their plastic, so they're pretty good. Here's the interesting part. Here's the X-Max shock, and here's the GT Max and the GTR. So the GT Max is a nice big shock that they have. So I don't know if they use it in any of the trucks that they have. If somebody does, please comment below and let me know if they actually use this or if this actually is a brand new shock. That's one thing I'd like to know. Here's another view of the shock. And here's a tire. And keep in mind it is a 17mm hex on the other side. And it looks like they do have a special little washer here, colored that matches your body color. Man, I need some water or something. I'm choking here. Talking too much. And they do have the self-rightening system. So it will get back on its forward all by itself by you hitting the button or just going forward and reverse to make it go forward. A lot of people say they like it. A lot of people say they hate it because it is hard on the drivetrain the older your truck gets. So you do have to be careful. So you don't have to walk all the way to put your truck back on its wheel. So it looks like a very nice little truck. They have lots of nice pictures for the studio, in the studio. Here's a picture of the thumbnail I used for my video. And leave me your thought. What do you like about it? Do you think this has a lot of potential on being your next basher? To me, it's about time Traxxas comes out with a new body, a new platform of a truck to compete with other people, because time evolves, plastic evolves, technology evolves, and this chassis is a brand new chassis that they have that I think has a lot of beneficial instead of the Slash chassis or the Stampede chassis. Yes, the Stampede and the Slash were close to the same. The length is a little bit different. There's a couple things different, but it is still the same platform. I like this better because it is a little bit stronger. So it's cool. It's a cool truck. Out of 10 right now, without seeing it, I give it maybe a 7 or 8 out of 10. It's a nice little truck. So if budget permits, that's probably one of the trucks I'm going to get. But I got my eyes right now on another truck, and won't mention the name here on this video. But guys, thanks a lot for watching. Please give me a thumbs up on your way out, and like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that little bell if you don't want to miss any more of the surprise video I'm going to be making. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.